Good morning, dear students. My name is V. Nagarjuna. Today I would like to explain the concept of a motherboard in computer system. The computer is built up around a motherboard. The motherboard is important part in any computer systems. It is a large printed circuit board, that means a PCB having many chips, ports, controllers and other electronic components mounted on it. So number of electronic circuit components, chips and ports and other control devices can be connected together in a motherboard. The motherboard also called as a system board. The system board is the main circuit board inside a computer. Every component inside the computer has to communicate through the motherboard, either by directly plugging into it or by communicating through one of the motherboard ports. The motherboard provides a platform for all the components and the peripherals to communicate with each other. So in a computer system, all peripheral devices can be communicated with the help of a motherboard. Here, the new term peripheral devices, that means input and output devices. The input device is directly communicating to the output devices with the help of an intermediate motherboard. Next one, the electronic components mounted on the motherboard are processor, memory, chips, interfaces, various ports and all the expansion cards. The motherboard is the hub, which is used to connect all the necessary components of a computer. The RAM, hard drive, disk drives and optical devices are all the plugged into interfaces on the motherboard. To analyze this concept or to understand this concept, all processors, memory devices, chips and the interfaces in various ports, one device to another device can be communicated through motherboard. All necessary components must communicate with the help of the motherboard, and all primary memory devices and secondary storage devices in the computer system communicated with the help of a motherboard. That's why the motherboard is very most important part in the computer systems. All electronic components like ports, chips, controllers and some other electronic components together to communicate with the help of motherboard. The motherboard may be categorized into three parts. One is a form factor. Second one is chipset. Third one is processor socket. Form factor refers to the motherboard's geometry, dimensions, arrangement and electrical requirements. The first characteristic is a form factor. The form factor refers to the motherboard geometry, dimensions, arrangement and electrical requirements. Different standards are being developed to build motherboards, which can be used in different brands. Advanced technology extended is the most commonly used design of a motherboard for desktop computers. Nowadays, so many desktop computers are used advanced technology extended motherboards. So next one, chipset controllers. The chipset controller, the majority of the resource of the computers. computer can work with the help of different resources. The first resource is hardware components, second component is software, third component is data, and the fourth one is the users. All these are the resources are organized, that means coordination is provided with the help of chipset controllers. The function of the chipset controller is to coordinate data transfer between the different electronic components in the computer system. The data can be transmitted from one device to another devices within the computer system to control with the help of a chipset controller. And the last one is the processor socket. The processor socket may be a rectangular connector into which the processor is mounted vertical, or a square straight connector with many small connectors into which the processor is directly inserted. So different ports are used in the computer system for receiving the input and the power supply, and sometimes the data can be transmitted in between the processor to another devices in the motherboard inside the CPU to use different processor sockets. All these are the major characteristics of the motherboard. There are basically three types of characteristics in the motherboard. The first one is the form factor, second one is the chipset controller, third one is the processor socket. Next, types of motherboards. How many types of motherboards are there? There are various types of motherboard available, depend on the processors that are used. Some of them are, first one is XT, that means extended technology. XT, the abbreviated term is extended technology. Second one is AT. AT, the abbreviated term of AT is advanced technology. Next one, baby AT. The combination of XT and AT is to form a new design of a motherboard, that is baby AT. Last one is ATX. The abbreviated term of ATX is advanced technology extended. Okay, first we can briefly explain in XT motherboards. XT motherboard stands for extended technology. These are old type of motherboards. In these motherboards we find out old processor sockets. That means LIF. LIF means low intersection force. Low intersection force sockets. ROS slots, DIMM and ISA are used. That means industry standards architecture slots. Here to use 12 pin power connectors and no ports. Here there is no use of ports. 12 pin connectors are used. They have slot type processors. The best example of XT motherboards are Pentium 1, Pentium MMX processors and the Pentium 2 processors are the best examples of the XT motherboards. The key points in XT motherboards are, in XT motherboard there is no use of ports. Only 12 pin power connectors are used. The best example of XT motherboards are Pentium 1 processors, Pentium MMX processors and Pentium 2 processors. Next one, AT motherboards. AT motherboard stands for Advanced Technology Motherboards. The Advanced Technology Motherboards have PGA, that means Pin Grid Array. PGA stands for Pin Grid Array socket. SDRAM slots are used. SDRAM means synchronized data random access memory slots are used. In AT motherboards, to use 20 pin power supply connectors. We find out about the components at AT motherboards. The best example of AT motherboards are Pentium 3 processors. Pentium 3 processors. Here the key points are: in AT motherboards to use PGA, that means pin grid array slots, and also to use SD-RAM slots. SD-RAM means synchronized data random access memory slots are used. In XT to use 12-pin power connectors are used, but whereas in AT 20-pin power connectors are used. There is no pins in XT motherboards, here to use some ports. Next one, baby AT motherboards. Baby AT motherboards is the combination of XT motherboards and AT motherboards. XT motherboard stands for, already you know that, extended technology motherboards, and the AT motherboards are advanced technology motherboards. Here 12-pin connectors or power connectors are used, and also 20-pin power connectors are used, and also ports can be used, because these type of motherboards can be designed with the help of XT motherboards and AT motherboards. XT motherboards 12-pin power connector slot ports are used and there is no ports, but whereas in AT motherboards to use 20-pin power connectors and also ports are used. These two combinations can be designed a new motherboard, that is the AT motherboard. The best example of baby AT motherboards are Pentium 3 processors and Pentium 4 processors. Pentium 3 processors and Pentium 4 processors. The key points in baby motherboards are: the first key point is the AT motherboard is the combination of XT motherboard and AT motherboards. Next one, in baby AT motherboards to use 12-pin power connectors ports are used, and 20-pin power connectors are used, and also ports can be used. So next one, ATX motherboard. The final motherboard is ATX motherboard. ATX stands for Advanced Technology Extended Motherboards. In ATX motherboard to use SD-RAM and DDR-RAM. That means SD-RAM means synchronized data random access memory slots are used, and double data read random access memories are used. Here to use approximately 20 to 24 power connector pins are used, and also ports can be used. The best example of Pentium ATX motherboards are Pentium 4 processors, dual core processor, and core to dual processors, and i3, i5 and i7 processors are the best example of ATX motherboards. The key points of ATX motherboard is: the ATX motherboard can be designed with the help of SD-RAM slots and DDR-RAM slots. SD-RAM stands for Synchronized Data Random Access Memory slots. DDR-RAM stands for Double Data Rate Random Access Memories. Another key point is approximately 20 to 24 power connectors are used in ATX motherboards, and also ports can be used. Last, the example of ATX motherboards are Pentium 4 processors, dual core processors, core to dual processors, i3, i5 and i7 processors are the best example of motherboards, ATX motherboards. Next one, what are the basic components of the motherboards? There are 7 types of components in motherboards. First one is the motherboard components are processors, that means the CPU. Second one is the BIOS. Next one, third one CMOS. Fourth one slots. Fifth one disk controllers, sixth one I/O ports and interfaces, and the seventh one is the bus. So first one, processors. The processor or CPU is the main component in the motherboard. It's called the brain of the computer system. The processor or CPU is the main component on the motherboard, and also it is called the brain of the computer system. The CPU consists of three units: ALU, that means arithmetic and a logic unit. Second one is the control unit. Third one is the registers. First one, arithmetic and logic unit. ALU stands for arithmetic and logic unit. The ALU is used to perform all arithmetical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo division. It is also used for calculating all logical operations such as AND, OR, and NOT operations. The second unit is the control unit. The functionality of the control unit is to organizing or processing the input data. At the time of transferring the data from input devices to the CPU, the sequence of data can be transmitted with the help of control unit. That means the CU is responsible for organizing or processing the input data. What is the basic functionality of the control unit? The control unit is responsible for organizing or processing the data. Next, third component is the register. Register is one of the storage devices, that means the temporary storage devices in the computer system. It holds some data and instructions before going to process the data. That is the major functionality of the registers. Basically, registers can be designed with the help of flip-flops. The registers can store one bit of information at a time. The registers always store the data in temporary manner. The register is placed inside the CPU. All these are the key points in registers. So the processor and the CPU is one of the major component in the computer system, motherboard. The CPU consists of three basic parts: ALU, CU, and registers. ALU is used for calculating all arithmetical operations and logical operations. The arithmetical operations are AND, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo division. And the logical operations are AND, OR, NOT. Next one is control unit. The control unit or CU is responsible for organizing or processing the data. And the last one is the register. A register is a temporary storage area. It holds the data and instructions before going to process the data. Next one, BIOS, basic input-output device system. A BIOS is a small chip on the motherboard that holds a set of instructions to load hardware setting required to activate various devices like keyboard, monitors, and disk devices. The basic input-output system is a small chip is placed on the motherboard. It holds the data and the instructions to load the hardware settings that requires to activate various devices like keyboard, monitor, and disk devices. So how to use the keyboard and the monitors and disk drives? Those information kept in BIOS, basic input output system. So what are the key points in BIOS? BIOS is a small chip is placed on the motherboard. BIOS holds the data and instructions to load the hardware settings. To require to activate various devices like keyboard, monitor and disk drives. The BIOS runs when the computer is switched on. The BIOS is automatically run when we are switch on the system. It performs a power on self-test, that means a post, that checks if the hardware devices are present and functioning properly. The BIOS invokes the bootstrap loader to load the 10 typical configuration of computer systems operating system into memory. This is the basic explanation of a basic input-output system. Next part in the motherboard, CMOS. CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductors. CMOS stands for complementary semiconductor metal oxide semiconductors. CMOS is a type of a memory chip to store data, time and system setup parameters. There are different types of memories are available in the computer system. Those memory devices are used for storing the data temporary manner in permanent manner. Whereas in CMOS is a type of memory chip, but it will store date, time and system setup parameters. Only 3 parameters can be stored in CMOS. That is the special feature of CMOS. These parameters are loaded every time the computer is started. That is why we observe when the computer is turned on, the system still display the correct clock time. BIOS as well as CMOS are kept powered by a small lithium-ion battery located on the motherboard. It can be seen into the following diagrams. Those diagrams are available in our material. There are different circuit diagrams are there. How to work the basic input-output system and the CMOS. These information diagrammatically provided in our material. So what are the key points in CMOS? CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductors. A complementary metal oxide semiconductor is a small memory chip. It can store date, time and system setup parameters. Only 3 parameters can be stored into the CMOS. Those parameters are date, time and system setup. These parameters are loaded every time the computer is started. When we are starting, switch on the computer system, the date and time system setup automatically used. So next concept is slots. A slot is an operating. That means a slot can be opening in a computer where we can insert a printed circuit board. PCB board where we can open is PCB. Slots are often called expansion slots because they allow you to expand the capabilities of a computer. So a slot is a opening in a computer where we can insert a printed circuit board. Slots are often called expansion slots because they allow you to expand the capabilities of a computer system. First one is the expansion slots. These slots are located on the motherboard. The expansion cards are inserted in expansion slots. So next one, ISA. ISA stands for Industry Standard Architecture. Another type of slot is ISA, that is Industry Standard Slots. ISA slot is used to connect modern and input devices. ISA slot is used to connect ISA slot is used to connect and input devices. Next one is PCI. PCI stands for Peripheral Component Interconnect. PCI slots are used to connect graphics accelerators cards, sound cards, internal modems or SCSI cards. That means small computer set instructions. So PCI stands for Peripheral Component Interconnector slots. PCI slot used to connect graphics accelerator cards, sound cards, internal modems are SCSI, CISC, that means small computer set instructions. Next one is AGP slot. AGP slot stands for Accelerated Graphic Port Slot. The AGP slot is meant to provide faster access to a graphic accelerator card, thus enhancing the visual experience for the user. All Celeron processors and Pentium 3 processor motherboards come with an AGP slot. Next one is the RAM slot. RAM slot stands for Random Access Slot. It is used to install a memory and it is of two types. One is SIMMM slot, second one is DIMMM slot. That means single inline memory module, second one is dual inline memory module. How many types of RAM slots are there? Basically two types of RAM slots are there. One is SIMM slot, single inline memory module. Second one is dual inline memory modules. So these are the basic types of RAM slots. Next one is the processor slot. The processor slot is used to insert the processor chip, which is the largest chip on the motherboard. The processor slot is used to insert the processor chip, which is used to large chip on the motherboard. Basically, the functionality of the processor slot is used to insert the processor into the motherboard. Next one is the PCI Express slot. It has a faster slot bus architecture than APG and PCI buses. Compared to APG slot and PCI slot, the large slot is a PCI Express slot. Next, PC card. It is used to laptop computers. Basically, PC slot is used to laptops. It includes Wi-Fi card, network card and external modem. So next one is the PC cards. PC card is used to laptops. It includes Wi-Fi card, network cards and external modems. Next, disk controllers and hard disk controllers. Disk controllers. Disk controllers is the circuit that enables the CPU to communicate with the hard disk. Disk controller is used to directly communicating to the CPU. It is very much useful for communicating all hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic disks and magnetic tape. Optical disk is directly communicating to the CPU with the help of disk controllers. The basic functionality of the disk controller is to provide the communication between all secondary storage devices to the CPU in the computer system. Here, all secondary storage devices such as hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic tape, magnetic disk, hard disk. These devices communicating to the CPU, it is controlled by the disk controllers. Next, hard disk controller, HDC. Hard disk controller, hard disk controller is the interface to enable the computer to read and write information to the hard drive. For the purpose of data read and write to the hard drive with the help of hard disk drive. Hard disk controller. Next one is floppy disk controller. The floppy disk controller is to provide the interface between reading and writing to the computer floppy disks. The basic functionality of the floppy disk controller is to provide the communication between the CPU and the hard disk floppy disk drives. The read and write operations can be controlled with the help of floppy disk controllers. At the time of hard disk drive is directly communicating to the CPU to perform read and write operation. Those read and write operations can be controlled by with the help of hard disk controller. At the same thing, the floppy disk controller is to provide the communication between floppy drive and CPU for the purpose of read and write operations. These read and write operations can be controlled by floppy disk controller. Next concept, I/O port and interfaces. Input port and output interfaces. All peripheral devices is directly communicating with the help of motherboards. Previously we will discuss the concept, motherboards concept. These input and output devices is directly communicating in the computer system with the help of a motherboard. Some interfaces are needed for providing the communication between the input devices and output devices in the computer system. So I/O ports are used for connecting the input pin connectors. Different I/O ports are available in the computer system. For example, keyboard ports and printers, scanners, all these are the output devices